We're here again with the Solar 42. Depending on your skill level, you'll consider these patches either complex or maybe semi-complex. All right, we're going to jump right into it. In this video, you can skip ahead if you just want to hear the music and you don't want to hear the talking. There's chapter markers for that. Otherwise, if you stick around, I'm going to go into some amount of detail over how I actually put these two example patches together. Let's get to it. If you like what you're seeing here, please consider hitting like or subscribe. All right, at this point in the video, if you want to just skip ahead, if you don't want to hear me talk, you can just skip ahead to the next example. Coming out of the joystick, we've got modulation going into drone number 1 and drone number 2, and that is controlling the pitch of the oscillators there somewhat. We'll have to turn those up. I'm going to go ahead and turn down the other oscillators so you can hear that better. So we got light modulating the pitch and the joystick. Okay, we've got the joystick also modulating the effects. I'm using the Magic Time card. I've got preset number 2 and preset number 3 loaded. Now you can load presets from different cards at the same time, but I'm not doing that today. So we've got CVX and CVZ being modulated. CVZ is being modulated by the joystick. The CVX is being modulated by the envelope out of drone number 3. We also have the gate coming out of the keyboard sequencer, keeping the pulsar in time, the step sequencer in time. Then we have the gate coming out of the step sequencer going into the gate in of drone 3. So it all works together. All right, let's break down what's going on here. We're going to start with the oscillators 1, 2, 4, and 5. The way I have that set up is that you use the joystick and you go in the Y axis, so I'm pushing the joystick up. The Y side of the joystick is sending the output to the Y side of the joystick is sending the output first to the gate in of oscillator 1. So oscillator 1 starts, and then once oscillator 1 envelope hits a certain point, it then sends its gate out, its envelope out into gate in of oscillator 2. Once oscillator 2 gets up to a certain volume, it sends its output to trigger gate in of oscillator 4. And then once oscillator 4 gets up to a certain volume, it sends its output to oscillator 5 gate in. So you've got kind of a cascading effect going on here, where one triggers the next, and whenever I let off of the joystick, it still sounds. So you have 1, then 2, then 3, or 1, then 2, then 4, then 5, and then they fade out whenever you let off of the joystick, one after the other. Okay, at the same time, what we've got going on here is LFO-A is sending its output to two different things. First of all, it's modulating the CVY factor. I've got two different effects loaded from the time card. So both of those effects are being changed at the same time from LFO-A output. But it also, LFO-A is coming out and going into the CV-in of VCO-A. I'm going to demonstrate VCO-A in just a minute. Okay, another thing that we have going on here is LFO-B, which is sending its output to the left and right filter cutoff frequencies. You can also see that I'm using something that is only found on the Solar 42N, which is the independent modulation controls left and right, so that the cutoff frequency is being affected differently on the left and the right side, even though it has a single modulation source. So I'm going to show you that now. The oscillators are on, and now we're going to change the speed using the speed switch on LFO-B. Another thing we got going on here is oscillator number 4 is also being modulated by pressure control coming from the keyboard. You can see that red light coming on. And then oscillator 5, or drone number 5, is being, I keep saying oscillator, but what I really mean is drone. So sorry for that little mix-up there. So drone number 5 is also being controlled by the light. So let's go ahead and demonstrate that real quick. Now we're going to turn up VCO-A and VCO-B. Again, VCO-A is being impacted by the output of LFO-A, which is controlling the CV-in, which is providing modulation here. At the same time, the joystick is modulating the pulse width modulation here, coming out of the y-axis of the joystick. So if I move the joystick to the right or left, it's only modulating VCO-A, which actually does also modulate VCO-B because they're tied together by default. But if I go up with the joystick again, it's triggering voices 1, 2, 4, and 5. So I can do both at the same time also, as we'll demonstrate here. Okay, now let's go to drone number 3. We're going to go ahead and turn that up. It's just making a pretty constant noise without any other modulation going on other than it's self-modulating. And then drone number 6, we have being modulated on and off. It's being turned on and off by the gate output of the sequencer, which is in 5-step mode right now. So let's go ahead and turn Jones 6 up. Alright. And also I'm going to just go ahead and turn the preamp up because we've also got the internal microphone. Okay, so whenever you put it all together, all right, so that concludes the video. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. You can let me know in the comments what you think. If you've got any ideas for maybe me making new patches with you in the future, or other types of videos you'd like to see either on the Solar 42 or anything else. And if you have any questions, I'll be sure and try my very best to answer those for you. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.